I would say the last decade. For those of you who don't know, we are a 105-year-old B2B company. And when we look at the last decade, it has been the consumerization of business. So to the extent that whether with the internet technologies, but later with the digital technologies, everything is about consumer-centric, whether it's devices, consumer electronics, and personalization has influenced how we do business. So when you look at that and you see the rapid innovation that's occurred in the consumer space, a lot of focus on the front, right, and how you serve omni-channel, all customer-centric, you can say, you know what, the consumer is king, and the consumer will continue to be king. So there is no question or debate about the consumer being at the center of everything. But then when you go back and you step back, as you start looking at customer centricity, simple concept, but starts to get more complicated as the terrain gets more crowded. So when you start looking at data of, because one of the things that smartphones do is generate an incredible amount of data, both on the consumption side as well as on the supply side. So if you're now going to understand this data and you're going to make sense of it to act on it, then you've got to start saying, what do I need to do as an enterprise? So the B starts to become important. And because it's now at a scale with security, because I'm going to give you a lot of information, but I want personalization, but I don't want my data to be all over the place. So you start looking at business sort of behaviors of making that data secure. Your payments need to be secure. It's convenience, but with privacy. And I'm going to give you a lot of information, which means I'm not expecting to be spammed, but I'm expecting to be served. And that means you've got to understand me. So there is an element of taking this to the next level for I think the players that will in fact be successful. The second element is the more you say, I'm going to personalize, because you're the retailers here, I'm not, but you've gone from probably a decade ago or 2 decades ago, the number of SKUs that are available have probably gone up, order of magnitude, right? And when you've got to sort of sort through this and sift through this, and then still be, and retail at whatever point in time, in India or global, has always been a pretty thin margin business. And when you have to look at how do I personalize with an extraordinary number of offerings, more than ever before, and at the same time have it at the right place at the right time for the right client so I don't lose an opportunity, then you start looking at how do you use enterprise-grade technology on your back end. And that is about smarter supply chains, smarter operations. So not having margin leakage, not having overages and underages. So it's about, I think, bringing in the enterprise discipline. So I don't think B goes away. The C stays front and center, and you serve the C, but you're going to need a lot of the B best practices to influence the C.